Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel. And of course, there's all the Linux fanboys out there that are convinced that, it's easy to move on to Linux and to move on to a distro of Linux for people that are average users, which is not at all the case. They don't understand the basics of that forever the average Windows user and the average PC user does not know that what Linux is, first of all, but is not going to move to it because it doesn't understand it at all. Stop thinking it's easy. Oh, it looks like Windows. It's like, no, it's not. It's totally different. Okay, just looking at a screen saying, well, it looks like Windows, it's not Windows. People are going to want to install their favorite software, their favorite things that are non-existent, or if they are, they have no idea. They don't go on the web and just download it. For the most part, it doesn't work like that in distros of the Linux operating system. And this is where Linux users are totally out of sync with the reality of what computers are in the real world. And so that's the problem where, you're not going to get tons of people on Linux. If you look at the market share of operating systems, Linux moved from about 2% to 4% in the span that I have here, which is almost 5 years. And that is not really gaining much. 2% in 5 years is not telling us, oh yeah, Linux is going to succeed. No, because people aren't moving to that. That 2% is the real geeks that decided, well, you know what, it's time that I might try it, and they go to it. But the geeks will always stay at that small percentage, particularly because they're unable to communicate and talk about these Linux distros in down-to-earth ways that people will understand. This is where the big disconnect is between, an enthusiast and a Linux fanboy to regular folks. The other reason why it fails is Linux, as of course, is divided in tons of distros that all look different. Well, if you push somebody into Ubuntu and their best friend is on Linux Mint or some other, it's totally different. They can't help each other. It's different enough that, forget it, you don't understand what's happening. Nobody does, except the fanboys, except the enthusiasts that understand that, oh, well, the system, they just changed this menu here, or they just changed that setting there, or yeah, well, it's a little different, and that it's a little different means everybody that is an average user is lost. So that's also the reason why there is never going to be a Linux takeover of Windows. Because Windows, even though from version from 10 to 11 had minor changes, well, still, a lot of what you do and the right clicks and the software you use all function the same. They don't with the millions of distros of Linux out there. So it's all things that are weighing against people moving on to something else. No, people will not move on to Linux in any way because Windows 10 is dead. They're going to do that e-waste. They're going to throw their computer away. They're going to get Windows 11. And no, people don't keep their out-of-date PCs. The majority of them will be moving on. It's the way it is. It's the way it's been since the PC started. And that is, unfortunately, yes, I do agree. Unfortunately, great machines will be thrown away that work and that could do some other job, that could do things. And it's the way it is. It's the way that we've been brought up about, how computers, well, you upgrade your computer regularly. It's kind of a normal thing. Like I said in the video yesterday, the day before, it's one of the things that we got to at least understand is that we've never had a period of time where computers last so long in Windows. It used to be that, every 2 years when that new Windows was there, you had to move on. It happened with, Windows 98 to Windows XP, for example. That little span of time there, well, people would move on, buy new PCs. And then XP to 7, most people moved on, bought a new PC. But when Windows 10 arrived, it created this, what I would call a wonderful moment where most PCs could continue existing with a new Windows and move on and last much longer than before. And I think we are, like I said a few times, a lot of people are frustrated with that move to Windows 11 with the minimum requirements, because that hasn't happened in a long time, that you are forced to have better hardware to have the new Windows. People lost track that was a thing in the past. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.